Good afternoon. It is Monday, January 10th, 2022, and today really we're looking at mostly a range day, but early on this was a clear move down. You can see we hit the measured move of the overnight highs and lows, went a little bit further before we bounced and started making our way up, and it was kind of hard to tell what was going on until I would say this leg up. That's when it was pretty clear, okay, we're probably going higher now because of this bounce. And then after this leg up, you get a second entry long right here, and it was just moving uphill. So we'll take a look at these trades. I don't want to just rant and ramble. So I think 5 a.m. came in right at the bottom of this move down, so prices were correcting back to the EMA, and we didn't really get a setup. You get a first entry, second entry, but that's at 525, and it looks like it's off the trend line. It's a bit away from the EMA, so I am going to mark that. But after that, it also just looks congested. So I probably, in theory, I wouldn't want to take this because after this doji and you have these two bars stacked up, it's a little bit away from the EMA. So I'd probably want to wait until a better setup. And you get this third entry right here. And I looked at this as like a lower high after the bounce off the EMA. But that's an aggressive entry too, especially after that doji. That's a little nerve-wracking. The better entry would be a failed second entry long, and we get that right after. So I entered this, but I was kind of annoyed. I wish I was more patient because the failure trapped people, and the move down was pretty quick. So, and after this, we moved down. Another thing is I was expecting prices to test these lows, and you can see we didn't quite test them right here. But after this, it's pretty quick to test them. After that, but look how congested that is. So you don't want to take anything in there. We keep moving down, but there's no good entry. Then we form this congestion, and you get a counter trend breakout, but just no good setup. This has too long of a stem to enter in on. But you get a first entry, failed second entry long. That's also a breakout pullback. So I like that setup a lot. And we come down here and you get a first entry, second entry. Doesn't give you a good signal bar. And then we come up here and make this kind of like double test or double top kind of. So I think you can go short there. I like that. We'll see if Max says anything about that, but especially with how bearish that bar is. This is all too far from the EMA. This looks like a second entry, but it doesn't set up well. And it looks like we broke the channel, or had an overshoot, I should say. Come back, touch the top of the channel, come back down here. Definitely an overshoot down here, and that leads to congestion. You don't want to go short, long here. It's too early for that. But you can see we hit the measured move, and we start going sideways, and you get a first entry, failed second entry long right here, but I don't like the way that sets up going into support, far from the EMA, so I don't like any of this. None of this. Second entry short right here. This just looks like a double bottom, so I would wait for this one, second entry short. And that's also like a breakout pullback, so I like that entry. But technically that is the third entry. But to me it looks like one leg up, correction, second leg. And then prices just bounce and they start to trend higher. There's no way to get in on this. That's a sharp leg up. You get a first, second entry long, but it doesn't set up. we're coming up here too far from the EMA, and then it shoots back through the EMA to the low side. No setups in there. And we form this congestion after a move down, so we break out counter trend, but we don't get a lower high. And first entry, failed second entry, long, but that's in congestion, so in a range. We don't really know what's happening at this point, so don't take that. But when you get matching highs and a first, second entry short that closes below the EMA, I think that was a safer bet there. This is probably, honestly, I marked this as red, but this one might be aggressive because we're not trending down at the moment. So I'm about to change that. And then here, this is also definitely aggressive. It's kind of looks like a failure. Technically, this is a third entry long. You can see first entry, second entry. But it also looks like it confirms a channel. So I marked this. But you can see they trapped a bunch of shorts right here and rocketed it right back up. And then you get this. This looks like a double bottom to me. So when you get this first entry, failed second entry short, I like that. Maybe the better idea is to enter one tick above this bar. But I like this personally, especially if you have this longer term channel drawn. You probably at that point would have had it drawn more like this, and that midline doesn't really help you, so it's not too clear, but that just looks like a failure to me. And we make this huge leg up. So when we make that up, and then you get this breakout pullback, second entry long, I think you got to take that. It's also actually, this isn't a new low, but this looks like a double bottom, and that would also be like a failure too. So I like that. Then you get a failed second entry short right here. I just don't like all these dojis. It looks a bit congestive. That's why I marked it as aggressive. This is clearly a channel up. We get a break, move to a new high, all this congestion. You get a first entry, second entry, super bullish bar. Take that. We're trending higher at this point. And this is a first failed second entry short, super bullish bar. Take that. We come up here so far from the EMA, can't take anything here. Second entry, long right here, doesn't set up, not off the trend line, and it looks like it might be off the trend line, but it's a bit away from the EMA and it's congestion, 3 bars stacked up with dojis. None of this looks good to me. This is congestion. And then we're just chopping back and forth. Why did I like this? This kind of looks like a failure. Oh yeah, it is a failure. First entry, failed second entry, long. And you know, we're making some lower highs at this point, and we got an overshoot of this channel, so I like that. And you had these 2 strong legs down. It's aggressive, but I like that. And then we found some support right here, but you can see this important price level here. So this looked like a testing this high again, and then we get this lower high, and it's also a first, second entry short. I like that. And then we get a double test of that price level, and then a triple test of that price level with a lower high. So I like that one too. But then we bounce, and then we start moving higher. And this was 30 minutes before market close, so I'm not going to mark anything in there. And 2 trades I took today. Let's see. I don't have a problem with either of the trades I took today. Really, I don't think I want to take this one, actually. I wish I would have waited and taken this failure. It's just a lower high off this EMA. We're not too short. This looks congested, so we're not too sure what's happening. So that's a little too aggressive for me, for my liking. But it worked out well, luckily. This one, I do like this. It's a second entry short, I think. I don't think this tick lower, I'm not looking at that as a first entry, really. First entry, second entry, it's also a breakout pullback. I think this was a good move. So that's what I saw for today. Those are the trades I took today. I hope everyone had a blessed weekend, and I'm glad to be back. I'll see you tomorrow.